next module, and I simply run my Genymotion over here, as you can see, and we're gonna need our Linux machine. And today's topic, we're gonna learn about. We're gonna talk about the setting up our lab environment. And in this lab environment over here, as I mentioned, we need Linux OS operating system. That would be our attacker machines, and some free open source, some mobile forensic, malware forensic security. These are different things. You can try Santoku. Santoku is also an operating system that can be used for mobile application testing part, and many further things can be happened over there. So we can see you can download Genymotion over here. See, you can download Genymotion, HTTPS, Santoku, or Genymotion. And today we're gonna start with our next module. That would be our Android debug bridge. So I have mentioned you before. So all the possibilities that if you want to communicate with this Android device, which is an IP address, which is on 105 over here. And one more thing that you want to do is to enable the debugging mode when you are doing a mobile application testing part. So you can see developer options. In developer options, you will see USB debugging, USB debugging mode, USB connected. So we're gonna try to connect this one. And over here, we can learn about the Android debug bridge, which is your ADB. So let me tell you about the ADB. ADB is basically your command line utility, which is basically used to communicate with the client and server communication. So Android debug bridge, which is your ADB, you can see a versatile command line tool that is used to communicate with a device. The ADB command line facilitates a variety of devices actions such as your installing, debugging apps, and it provides access to the Unix shell that can be used for running varieties of commands over there. So it could be a client-server communication tool. Most of the pen tester, most of the mobile applications, they are use ADB for making a connectivity with the client and the server part. So today we're going to talk about some of the basic concepts and some how we can do it. So for example, you can see there are three things with three components. Like your there's a client, there's a daemon, there's a server. You can see a client which will use a command line to send some commands, which we are client right now. So the client runs over a developer machine that would be our attacker machine, that would be our Kali Linux, and we're gonna use ADB over here. So please mute your mic, whoever is on, please. Yes, so over here you can see you can invoke a client from a command line terminal by using ADB. So first of all, you have to install ADB in your local server. So let me check. I'm going to use which command? ADB. So you can see over here on the screen that I already have installed ADB in my local server. You can do one thing, just write apt. First of all, check your sources.etc. I'm going to use leafpad etc sources. Etc apt sources.list. So you can see, first of all, update your repo, then your source file. These three things are important over here. So first thing first, apt get update. It's done. Then you can do one thing, you can write apt get install ADB. So ADB is already installed with the new latest version. You can see over here. So the major thing which we're gonna use ADB is to basically make a client-server communication. So you can see a daemon. A daemon is a local system user. so a local system application that execute every time where a new application is running on the server, which runs commands on the device. The daemon runs as a background process on each devices. See, so whenever a new application, think about this, many applications are running over here. These are the application which is running over there, and each and every application has a simple daemon. If you see over here, most of the application they use daemon which is running. See, smart card, clipboard, settings, housekeeping, mouse power, system calls, whatever the system calls are performing over here, there is a daemon, system user. Daemon is a system user. First of all, you should know about the basic concept. And if you see over here, a server, which is our Genymotion, an application. A server which manages communication between the client and the daemon. This server runs a background process on each and every development part. And these three components are important: a client, a daemon, and a server. You should remember these things. And one more thing which I want to ask you guys, so let's see over here on the screen that they have given some few commands that can be used over here in the very further things. Most of the commands over here on the ADB are used to simply penetrate or simply use it for the further stages. So ADB connect IP address, ADB your device, what are the number of devices are there, ADB shell, ADB files, each and everything is described over there. So the major part that we're going to do over here is to simply run each and every command, and we're going to try to execute, and we will check the options. So over here, let's try this one. Few commands of ADB. See this one. So ADB connect, ADB device, ADB shell, ADB serial, install, uninstall, push and pull, logcat. What exactly these commands are? See this one. As I mentioned you, ADB Android Debug Bridge, which is your command line utility. But over here, we're gonna check how the ADB works. So over here you can see when you start an ADB client, the client first check whether the ADB server process already running or not. And the ADB server will work on the port number 0357. It will listen on the port number. When the server start, it's bind with the local port which is 5037 and listen for the commands sent by the ADB client. And ADB client are used 5037 to communicate with the ADB server. And by defaultly, it will make a communication with the emulator on the port number 5555. It will make a communication with the emulator. Emulator means the application. See, this is an application, but the application can be connected with the ADB server. So if you see over here, how are we going to use ADB server? The emulator connected with the ADB on the port 5555 in the same emulator whose connection console listen on the port number 5554. Once the server has been set up the connection, all the devices can be used ADB commands to access those devices because the server manages connection to the devices and handles command from multiple ADB clients. So over here, we're going to try to look one by and see this one. They have mentioned you enable the ADB debugging on your devices. You have to use this one. As I already mentioned you have to go to the settings, then you have to go to the developer options as they described, and then you have to enable the USB debugging mode. To use the ADB debugging connected on the USB, you must enable the USB debugging in the device settings under developer options. And open Android 4.2 and higher, the developer options screen is hidden by the default. To make it visible, go to the settings, about phone, and tap build number, and tapping the building number, you can see. So once the some devices and developer options might be located on the name, see, you can write ADB devices, ADB SDK, but we're gonna try to look. And one more thing should be important, which the mobile device should be connected on your Wi-Fi. So ADB usually communicates with the device over USB, but also use ADB over Wi-Fi after some initial setup. So see this one, they have given a proper thing that we can do here. Connect your device and ADB host computer to the common Wi-Fi accessible both. Beware not also access is suitable. You might to need user access points, and whose firewalls is configured properly. If you are connecting to a Wear OS operating system, see this one. Connect the device to the host computer, the USB port, and set the target listen on the TCP port connection. So let's use if this port is open or not. ADB TCP IP. See this one. So first of all, let's check is it available or not. ADB TCP IP 5555. So daemon is not running. Starting, see, daemon is now running properly, which will run on the port 3507. And no devices has been connected because we didn't connect the server. But the daemon is running. Disconnect the USB cable from the target device. Find the IP address of the Android device. For example, Nessus. You have to find the IP address, and you have to use ADB connect. The connect option will let you have a connection with the specific IP address. So the IP address of this device over here is 105. Let's have a look. So ADB connect IP address, which is 110. Connection has been refused because of the TCP IP. Let's see, unable to connect on the server. ADB connect. Okay, let's do one more thing. Yes. Netstat ANTUP. So ADB server is running. So we're gonna do ADB kill server. We're gonna, if the ADB is not connecting, there might be chance that ADB will not work. So you have to use ADB kill server to simply restart the application. So if you try this one again, ADB connect 192.168.0.110. Again, I have a problem, same problem. ADB connect on the refusing port number. Okay, sorry. I guess this IP address was different, and I'm using a different IP address. Okay, it was 105, and I'm using 110. Sorry, pardon me. 105. See, now the device has been connected. I was using 110. Sorry. So over here, you can simply check. You can check the ADB devices, which are the devices that are connected over here on the server side. Once the device has been connected, you can run any command with the ADB to check the applications. So there is 105 has been connected with the server. One device has been connected. So you can see list of devices. Now you can good to go. If the ADB connection is ever lost, you can do one thing: make sure that the host is connected with the same Wi-Fi network and Android devices. Reconnect by the executing the ADB connect step, and or if it doesn't work, reset your ADB host, which is your ADB kill server, as I mentioned you guys. So over here, if you go a little bit of more down, you will see query of other devices. Before you issuing ADB command, it is helpful to know what devices intents are connected to the ADB server. So you can check through FNI, and you can see in response, ADB prints the status information for each devices. You can use emulator also. But if the ADB is not working, you can use emulator command. So if I talk about ADB kill server, ADB kill emulator, ADB server over here, send command to a specific device. Yes. Yeah. The next thing we're gonna learn is install an application. For example, this application, there is no application is installed over here. So what we're gonna do, as per my testing environment, we can install a vulnerable application, and that would be our, where is it? Okay, so I didn't install the vulnerable applications over here in this environment. So let's download the Diva application that we can install. So let's do Diva APK file download. So you can see there are lots of resources that we can download. Let's download this one. So over here we have the application. So I'm gonna make a folder, and I'm gonna name this one mobile PT. So this is the .apk file. So if we do file diva, I can see .apk. So you can see this is a Java file, jar file. So whenever you want to install an application from ADB through the terminal, you have to use the install over here. You can use ADB to install an APK on the emulator or connected devices with the install command. You can do ADB install and the path of the application. You must use -t option with the install command when you install a test APK. Test APK means your testing environment. So let's use this one. ADB install -t, and that will be our diva.apk file. And over here you can see the installation has been done successfully, and we can see this reflection over here. See, the diva has been installed, and we can see the diva is over here. This diva, which is our damn secure vulnerable application, is gonna be used for penetration testing part. And you can see the aim of this app is to teach developers Q and security professional flow that are generally present in the app, poor and insecure coding practice. If you are reading this, you can want to either learn or app pen testing or secure coding. You can see. So we're gonna try to look all the things over here. You can see for more information, you can create an APK file that you can install on the emulator, or you can build and run an app. If you want to build your own application, you have to use your Android Studio. If you are a good programmer, you can make your own applications for testing part. Most of the Android developers, they use these techniques to penetrate their applications. So the major perspective we're gonna do is simply try to look all the things one by one. So you can see set up port forwarding. Port forwarding means rewrite the client request to a different source, but there will be no use. You can use the forward command to set up arbitrary port forward, which forwards request to a specific host port to different port device. So it's like your traffic monitoring. So we can redirect our port to a different port. You can see one thing is over here is important. That would be your copy files from a device. Use the pull and push command to copy files to forum and device. You can see, unlike the install command, which can only copy the APK file to the specific location, or the pull and push command let you copy arbitrary directories and files to any locations in the device. So to copy a file from the directory, subdirectories from the device, you can do pull command. To copy a file or a directory and subdirectories to the device, you can use push command. From a device to a device, to the device, to the device. Push means forward the file, and pull to fetch the file. Replace local remote, you can add Adb Push, and you can see one file over there. For example, let me show you one thing. When you are connected with the device, when you have a connection, when you have a proper connection with the device, you can do one thing. You can write Adb shell. If you write Adb shell, you will get a command line of that mobile device. See, root VirtualBox 86p. This is architecture of your mobile device. First thing first, when you have to understand the architecture, it's all about learning environment variables. Environment Linux mobile device architecture, just like your Linux machine, there's nothing different over here. So you can try one by one all the possibilities over there. So our major objective of today is you can see these are the same variables or the same directory which is we do on our Linux machine. But over here you can see the mobile applications. The mobile applications are installed on your data drive. The data drive, the data folder, you can see if you go to the data, you will see ls, you will see apps, appsex, libs, library, private, backup, Delphi cache files, and over here you can see one more things. So over here you can go to the cd data. In the data you will see all the application which is installed over there. So in this application we can see this application jaka.asim.dy is running. So this application is installed on the server. So we're gonna try. We should know all the architecture. If you go to the cd jaka.asim.dy, you will see some caches, some databases, some libraries files. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a folder over here. Echo. We're going to make a folder like Arthur, and I'm going to save this file over here, which will be test.txt. So you can see test.txt is a file over there. So our major objective would be I'm going to fetch this file over here. So we're going to use the pull command. The pull option was there. The pull option was to copy the file. So I'm going to use Adb pull, and you can see I'm still connected with the server. I just write T and I can see file. And you can see I can pull the file in my local drive. And that would be something like yeah, a normal part. Let's try something new over here. So I'm going to go to the desktop directory. Yeah, so we are on the desktop. Let's gonna make a file echo Brian and make a file called brian.txt. Yeah, so this is a text.txt file. So what are we going to do? Adb push. So we're going to do Adb push now. So we should know the directory. So otherwise, you can do one thing: push brian.txt on the file called data. Can we do data over here? No. Adb push brian together. So let's do this one. Let's copy this one. Is it working or not? Let's see. If it works, then great. Adb. Adb. Yep, the file has been pushed over there properly. So give me 2 minutes. Yes, so we were over here. See, I can push and pull any file on the server. So where is it? It was in Java Sim or where? I didn't mention the diva. Remember the diva word. Case sensitive, everyone. Now you can see the file. We can understand what is the command of push and pull. So pull command is to fetch the copy of the file, and the push command is to fetch insert the file on the server side. So this was a normal demo. So I will remove this file over here. So Adb can be performed in various tasks. Adb can perform various things over there. You can add and push command on the server. See, they have given you a proper file. So if you look over here, how to stop this Adb server, you can do one thing, which is your Adb kill server command. When the work has been done, in some cases you might need to terminate the Adb server process, then restart it and resolve the application if the Adb doesn't respond with the command. So stop the Adb, you can write Adb kill server. As I mentioned you, see this one. If some of the application will not work, so you can do Adb kill server, and over here in the back end of the server, ANTUP, you will see some application is running. So you can see the server has been dead. So what I'm going to do, Adb connect and the IP address.
Now you can see that ADB has been connected on the port number 5307. That is my demo part. And over here, I'm basically connected this one, ADB shell. We can properly have a list time over there. See, ADB command reference. There are lots of things you can try to communicate. You can use ADB command from command line, and you can develop a machines or a script. See, the most important thing is to understand the content. We are not much memorize the things, so we have to make a cheat sheet that can use it for the further stages. -A, what exactly the -A means over here. So listen all the network devices instead of the local host. -D is basically your destination path. Direct an ADB command to any of the attached devices. Direct the query. -E, which is your running emulator. -S for serial number. And many further things. So this slides over here will let you understand how the core application works. If you have installed applications, you will see lots of things. Issue shell commands. You can use the shell commands to issue devices to ADB, which is without entering the ADB remote shell. You don't have to use ADB shell to get inside over there. You can use anything. But over here, most of the commands will not be useful. So we can skip those commands and see this one. They have given ADB shell, ADB pulls, SD screenshot. There's lots of things given there. Take a screenshot. This is the important part. So you can do ADB screen cap. You can write screen cap over here and the file of the names to take a screenshot of the application. So see this one. Right now, this is running over here. So let's see. ADB screen cap, unknown command. Okay, I guess I have to install this one. apd get install screen cap. The screen cap command is usually for taking a screenshot of the device. Okay, this one is not working over here. ADB shell screen cap. Okay. Shell. To use the screen cap command, ADB shell screen cap. Okay. ADB shell screen cap. Okay. SD card. Okay, so it wasn't saved on the SD card. Let's see the picture. See, the device will say the picture will save on the server side. It's just like a screenshot, you can say. ADB shell, screenshot, you can say ADB pull, you can paste the file, or you can do one thing, you can record a video also. So it records, screen record, you can do one thing. So there's lots of things can we do. We can perform, or you can do the limitations of the audio part. So first thing first, when you are doing an implementation part, you have to understand what is the core mechanism of ADB. And ADB gonna use in various things. So you're gonna see over here that we can do installation, install, push and pull, and the most important thing is the logcat. The logcat application is basically used to monitor the log activities. The log activities which can be used in various further things. and we're gonna use ADB log. Logcat is a command line tool that dumps the logs of the system messages, including stacks traces when the device throws an error and messages that you are written up for app and log files. Many things can happen there and further things. And the most important thing is the Android startup point. So first of all, this is important when the Android application boot up. So this is architecture where a mobile application boots. So you can see boot ROM, bootloader, kernel. You can see in kernel they are divided daemon in the fifth and the runtime. So you can see Zygote also. So there is normal runtime package. And you can see there are a lot of things given. When you do power on, the most important thing is the ROM, the bootloader. When you do a bootloading options part, initialize application is over there. So you have to understand what exactly the mobile application structure works and what are the further applications. So the most of the things will be our practical session nowadays, because it was only ADB shell, and we're gonna follow the OWASP top 10, the OWASP top 10 of top 10 critical vulnerabilities, and we're gonna do unzipping Android application and reverse engineering and application signing, which that would be our tomorrow's part, application signing and building. And these topics, these 1, 2, 3, and 4 topics are important, and these are interconnected. First of all, these are interconnected, and we have to simply start from the first one, which is your unzipping the Android application.